What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. It's week 2. We are washing the stench off of week 1, and it is divisional rivalry week, and the one team that gives us the most headaches in the league, and the quarterback we haven't been able to crack yet, Daniel Jones, and the Giants come to town. We're pulling out the gold pants this week. This is Rambling About Washington. Let's get to it. So today I'd like to bring on one of my guys, one of my fellow compatriots over at the Roundtable Sports Network, my guy, Kid Blue. How you doing tonight, my guy?
What's going on, man? Excited for this week 2, man. I mean, am I really excited? I don't know. but listen, you said it already. I mean, the Giants for some reason have this thing against Washington. It's been like that since the inception of this division, you know. So and especially with Daniel Jones. So I guess I'm excited for it. I just want a little bit of a rebound, but hey, who knows? Maybe Jaden Daniels gets his first win in the NFL against the New York Giants and breaks the cycle. But yeah, I'm excited though.
Both teams are looking to get right versus the other one. It's a divisional game. You never know how ugly or pretty the game's going to look. Just a week ago, nobody couldn't tell me or you shit. We were so excited for this week.
I know, we're talking all that shit. Oh, man.
I'm going to see if I'm still staying strong to my sweep of the Giants this year. I appreciate you, Marshall and Jacob, for joining the channel. Welcome to the Rambler family. Pull up and show off those member badges. But to start this one off, your quarterback. It's the one story that you can't mention the New York Giants without getting to it. I see former players of the Giants calling him out. I see fans fed up. I see fans following him to his fucking car, which I think is a little too much. But Daniel Jones, that is the story of y'all season through 1 week. Talk to me about your current feelings about your quarterback.
Yeah, I've completely jumped off. I've been on my channel, and for the past couple of years, as far as social media presence goes, I've been trying to hold strong, trying to stay as positive as I can about Daniel Jones, because he's our quarterback. I mean, what else can I really think about? You know, he's the guy under center. He's the guy that's supposed to lead us to victory, or lead us to, I can't even say the Super Bowl, the playoffs or whatever. You know, but after this game, there were so many excuses before this season, especially from, you know, that side of Giants Twitter, because there's two sides of Giants Twitter. It's a civil war. It's been a civil war for a past couple of years now.
Oh, it ain't just us. It's y'all too. Okay.
It's a civil war. Giants Twitter is literally split in half. There is the anti-Jones and there's the pro-Jones. That's what it is. It's just like politics. It is just like politics in there. And so, like, you're either with them or you're not with them or whatever. There are two separate Twitter spaces and stuff. But you know, it's been like that for so long, and the constant excuse that we would hear with Daniel Jones is, you know, the injuries, the lack of wide receiver help, the offensive line, this, that, and the third. Well, we come against this Minnesota Vikings game, and we talked about it before on the NFC's roundtable. I was excited for it, the Vikings game. I felt like this would be the best opponent to start off against in the season that we have on the schedule, besides maybe the Carolina Panthers. But it was just awful. I mean, awful. Getting blown out by a Minnesota Vikings team that had 7 wins last year that we thought what we were going to win against, and it wasn't even close. We weren't even competitive, and a big part of it was because of Daniel Jones. He was I can't even say rusty. I don't even know how I can explain it. I can't even say rusty because it was so horrible from what I watched on film. Blatantly just missing guys that are wide open, refusing to throw the ball, scared to make a play. And, you know, the offensive line was holding up. The receivers were creating separation. I heard the wide receivers created, like, they were top 15 in the NFL as far as creating separation. So no excuse there. It's Daniel Jones. There's a common denominator here, and it's Daniel Jones, and I'm finally off the bandwagon. I'm ready for the 2025 draft already.
No.
I can never get myself to root for losses, but you know what? There's a big difference between tanking and just having your team just suck completely and they just get a top 5 pick. You know what I mean? I won't root for them to lose, but sometimes they'll just do it themselves. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely. That is the fucking message I was trying to get through to our fan base last year. Like, guys, this is not a tank job. This is organic ass. This is homegrown right here. Like, natural organic ass. We are just bad. We're not capable of winning. They don't have to try to lose. It's what's going to happen on Sunday each week. If you didn't see, I put it on Twitter and I put it on my community post chat. I lobbed Kid Blue's video from yesterday. He put together almost a 40-minute compilation of Daniel Jones lowlights, not for his career, in one game, his week 1 game. Would you say that
wasn't even everything? I just picked out the plays I wanted to highlight. I wrote this down. I had to scratch off plays I didn't want to use anymore because I didn't want to have the video too long. But yeah, I had to put together. It came out to be like 45 minutes. Yeah.
Oh man. See, I know with the best of them what trash quarterback play looks like. So I feel your pain right now. But hey, hopefully Tommy Cutlets doesn't come in and play y'all out of a quarterback like he did last season.
Oh yeah.
How did you feel? Because we weren't in contact at the time. How did you feel watching Tommy DeVito? Were you happy about the story? Were you throwing up or were you like, what are we actually doing right now?
I'll be honest with you. I was throwing up the Tommy Cutlets, bro. I'll be honest with you. It's different. It's different when you think about it, when the game is not on and you're like, maybe this benefits the team if they don't get a win and we move up in the draft, get a quarterback, the logical, part of our fanhood. But then we're watching the game and you're like, win this fucking game, win the game, win the game. So, we've had Tommy DeVito get 3 straight wins, and we're like, oh my God, like none of us really thought he was a future, but we're like, man, it's crazy how we've got an undrafted free agent rookie. We love the story with Tommy DeVito, but that was it. That was it. Of course, as of right now, I'm still rooting for wins, but here we are in the state of the Giants right now. But yeah, it was. I remember the Los Angeles Rams game. We came so close to winning that game. And it was towards the end of the season, and we're not, going for playoff aspirations at that point. I just wanted to win the game against a potential playoff contender. And we wound up losing the game, and it helped us with draft position. Of course, it helped us get a guy like Malik Nabers. But, I was really distraught that we didn't win that game. We came very close to winning that game, and I was distraught. And I was like, why am I stressing about it, man? Like, we're getting a better draft pick, and hopefully we can try to get a quarterback. That didn't happen, but we still got Malik Nabers, and, that's just a part of our fanhood, man.
And I'm glad you brought him up because we're about to talk about him right now. Appreciate you, Door Gunner, for the $2. He said, sweet justice if we're the ones that finish off Jones's career as a starter. Most Giants thing ever would be to draft DJ Uyagalele.
You know why? Because DJ's in the name. That's what it is.
You got to keep the DJs. You got to keep the DJs. We got one of your fans in here talking about it's not all on DJ. That's bullshit. Would you like to counter that? Let's talk about the rest of the team. We're going to get to the rest of the team. Let's talk about some good before we keep harping on all the negative. Malik Nabers, his rookie debut. Obviously, a wide receiver is only going to be limited by how good his quarterback is. How did he look in his first ever NFL game? Because Marvin Harrison didn't do too much of shit on Sunday.
Yeah, I think like 1 reception for 4 yards, and apparently the Next Gen Stats said he had one of the lowest wide receiver speed times for the rookies. That's interesting to me as well because I thought he was pretty fast. But Malik Nabers leads all rookies right now in receiving yards, so which is great. Yeah, 5 receptions, 66 yards. I thought there would be more than that, like whoever's leading in week 1, but I guess, rookies are getting off to a slower start. And it's crazy to me because he was great. Watching him on film, he was great. He looks like a true number 1. I feel like we got a guy there, and it's all about who's going to throw him the ball at that point. He made a fantastic catch on a post route that was covered up, and he's one of those guys that when he's covered, he's open. Malik Nabers is one of those guys. So I'm happy we got a dog like him. We need guys like him on this offense, and I'm just hoping that one day we can get somebody that can consistently throw him the ball.
Hell yeah. Malik Nabers is an absolute dog. I wanted no parts of y'all getting him. I hate that y'all have him, but also I know Malik Nabers, he's one of those receivers that's cut from a different cloth. He's going to let quarterbacks know if he's not getting the ball. He's already made a couple comments in New York media. Y'all are wicked as hell.
Yeah,
I already know that.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to create that friction already. He said something after the game like, "Oh, I don't really know what was going on back there with the quarterback position, but he looked good early." But Daniel Jones was doing Daniel Jones thing. Mm-hmm. When you look at Washington's secondary with Emmanuel Forbes Jr., Benjamin St-Juste, and our rookie Sandra still in the slot, do you feel like it's one of those days where we're really going to see the superpowers of Malik Nabers can be in the league?
I think we're definitely going to see some Malik Nabers action, but the thing is, will he get the ball? The thing is, will he get the ball? That's the biggest question. There were plenty of opportunities for Malik Nabers to get the ball, even though he did have the most receiving yards out of all rookies. I felt like he could have had a lot more yardage if Daniel Jones would have targeted him. He was getting open consistently. So I feel like it's going to be a good game for Malik Nabers. Just I don't know how the offense is going to be,
I know. And to get Daniel Jones going through the air, your offense has to establish some type of balance. So before we talk about what's currently in your running back room, we got to talk about what used to be in your running back room. You fucking bastards. Y'all let the rich get richer.
The rich get richer.
Pompous motherfuckers get to rock 26 Saquon jerseys. He's probably going to be LaDainian Tomlinson from the Chargers, like on the Philadelphia Eagles. 3 touchdowns in his debut. Where did you stand in the whole Saquon Barkley argument? I don't believe in paying running backs, so I get it. But if the running back is kind of almost all you have, it makes it a little bit different. Where did you stand, and where do you stand today on the Saquon?
Man, a lot of the fan base were extremely salty about it, but then again, we were all in agreement that we shouldn't pay Saquon Barkley that much money. I was okay with letting Saquon Barkley go. Now, I was one of those guys that from the beginning, I was okay with letting Saquon Barkley go, not because I don't like him, but like you said, I'm really not a guy that likes to pay running backs. Even though running back is my favorite position, it's in my name, it's in my username. I love the running back position so much. But at the same time, where the state of the Giants are right now, we are not in position to have an elite running back on the team right now. Because when you do pay an elite running back, you also have to have some sort of offensive line in front of him to help him and let him be worth all of that money. I just don't see Saquon Barkley himself really doing much for the team as of right now because of the state that they're in. So I was okay with letting him go. Seeing him go off, listen, that first carry that he had when he slipped and fell. Oh, I was laughing my ass off. I couldn't stop laughing. Like, yes. I mean, now
and boy, did those tables turn.
Yeah. He shut me up real quick. That touchdown was like, I mean, catching a touchdown like a receiver and all those yards that he got, he was unstoppable, man. And to be honest with you, that's the type of team that he needed to be on. You know what I'm saying? That is the type, like where a running back should never be the focal point of your offense. It should never be that. It should always be a complement to your offense. And Saquon Barkley is a complement to the Eagles offense, and he is a star in it. So that's the type of team that he needs to be on. And like, I have a feeling even if the Giants were to offer Saquon a contract to match it or even give him a little bit more, I don't even think he would have came back. I don't think he would have came back. He would have saw that Eagle situation and said, man, I can eat here, man. So, I was okay with it. I just hate that he went to the Eagles. I was okay if he went to Chicago or something because Chicago was trying to get in on him. I was okay if he went over there, but the Eagles just breaks my heart, bro.
It always kills us. So I wanted him as far as fuck away from the NFC East, and he signs with the Eagles. Stays. And we watch it all unfold on Giants Hard Knocks, man. I know as a fan outside of New York, that was some of the most riveting Hard Knocks television I've ever seen.
It was hard to watch. much. Yeah.
It felt so intrusive, and we
Mhm.
weren't supposed to be seeing. They're sitting and talking about quarterbacks and position players like me and you are just kicking the shits. We're looking at scouts and front office brass sitting around a table, just like, nah, I don't really see this guy part of the future here, man. They're making PowerPoints and shit. How did you like Hard Knocks Giants offseason edition?
I loved it because I love to see everything that goes on in an off season to get a team prepared for the next season, going to the draft and in the war room. We see a little bit of that on NFL media stuff, but we got a lot of it on Hard Knocks, the Senior Bowl, scouting, free agency and stuff like that, how they come to their decision on who they really want to target. I felt like I wanted to see a little bit more. I wanted to see guys like in free agency, them trying to compete to because I know the guys that the Giants sign aren't the only ones they offer contracts to. I was really intrigued. I really wanted to see how things went when they lost guys that they wanted to get in free agency and in the draft and stuff like that. We got a little bit of that in the draft where they really wanted McKinstry, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and who was the other one that they really wanted? Kamari Lassiter. And them missing out on those two players in the second round, and they were just distraught. They were annoyed, and they had to go get a safety because that was their next best position to need there. So, Nubin, who played pretty well. He played pretty well, last week. So we'll see how he goes. But yeah, I really liked Hard Knocks. I don't know if they'll ever do that again, because like you said, it was very intrusive. It felt like we shouldn't have been in there. We were like a fly on the wall. So I don't know if they'll ever do it again, but we'll see. We'll see if they do. It'll be very interesting to see whoever else they choose.
I think they're going to run that shit back because nobody's a bigger fan of the NFL than the NFL itself.
That's right. That's right. Viewership, baby.
No one's going to win. Oh, y'all watched it? Oh, y'all like that shit? Let's get more intrusive next year. Let's follow the owner around. Like, let's follow and see what the family's talking about. But I'm looking at your current running back room. Devin Singletary, Tyrone Tracy. Y'all didn't get much on the running side. I know Daniel Jones. Washington fans know it very well. He's a threat with his legs. You didn't see y'all's running game get going like Minnesota's got going versus y'all. Aaron Jones turned back the clock and looked like prime Aaron Jones again. Talk to me about y'all's running game and how y'all need to establish that. Maybe that will help Daniel Jones not have to be put a cape on every Sunday.
Yeah, a big problem was I don't know if it was predictability, but I mean, they were the offensive line couldn't get anything going in the run game. They weren't opening up any holes. Singletary is a good back. He's no Saquon Barkley. You know what I'm saying? So, you can only ask so much from Singletary from dealing with this offensive line. I don't really blame him as much as, the offensive line. We didn't get to use much of Tyrone Tracy. We saw him a little bit in the pass game. He was pass blocking. I think he got targeted in the pass game probably once or twice. He ran the ball maybe once or twice too, but Singletary is probably the lead back, and he's okay. He's nothing flashy, nothing special. I'm hoping that we can get the Houston Texans Devin Singletary. I don't really think that he's regressed. I just want to see him kind of put that running game on his back a little bit and kind of compensate for the interior offensive line, because they really are not opening anything up there. As far as Daniel Jones goes, yeah, he's always a threat with his legs. The Giants tried running him a lot outside the tackles for whatever reason in like design quarterback runs, and it just didn't work. I was really scared. I mean, as much as I really am not a Daniel Jones guy right now, I was really scared. They ran him so many times with these design quarterback runs coming off an ACL injury in his first game. I was like, oh, what the hell are they doing? But it was packed up real quick. I mean, he couldn't get anything going. So I don't know where the run game is. I don't know what's going on with the state of the run game right now. Maybe Minnesota is just great this year in stopping the run. Who knows? We'll see later on in the year. But it's always been a problem for the Giants. We've never been able to establish a really good run game. Saquon Barkley always masked, how bad we were in the run game. And of course, Daniel Jones with his legs too. So we'll see what kind of Giants team we get in the run game later on this year.
I know seeing y'all running shotgun quarterback power on third now.
Third and two. We ran 12 personnel Probably the most I've ever seen in the Brian Daboll era in this game.
Mhm.
And on 3rd down and 2, you decide to go empty. Forget the 12 personnel. Go empty and run a quarterback power. And of course it got – and you watch the play, and it was supposed to be a double guard pull. Both the guards were supposed to pull, and one of the guards pulled. The other one did not pull. It looked like he forgot to do it, and it got blown up immediately. And it was just the incompetence of the offensive line still there, no matter who we plug in there, you know?
I think sometimes Brian Daboll says, I coached Josh Allen in Buffalo, and I know this isn't Josh Allen, but I'm trying to force Josh Allen out of the body of Daniel Jones, and he may just be trying to run him into the ground like, fuck it, bro. We need to see what we have with him so that I get a chance, because if Brian Daboll gets fired before he gets a chance to select his own quarterback, I know that's going to hurt you guys, because anybody can see that Brian Daboll can coach.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that you said that, because right now Giants Twitter is engulfed in flames right now, and they're pointing it all on Brian Daboll. And now it's Daboll. Now that everybody's in agreement, like Giants Twitter and the Giants fan base are like coming together about Daniel Jones. Now they shifted the blame onto Brian Daboll, and he's the next target. And I love that you said it, and it's great to hear it from somebody outside of the fan base. Brian Daboll can coach. I believe he's a great coach. I believe he's a great offensive mind. I believe he could develop quarterbacks. I just think he needs to get his own quarterback. A lot of people are already coming up with these head coach candidates, Slowick from the Texans and Ben Johnson from the Detroit Lions. They want to bring him in here, get their own quarterback, but we haven't we haven't really been able to get Brian Daboll to get his own quarterback. And, a lot of people talk about Joe Schoen as well. I would actually not lose any sleep if the Giants fired Joe Schoen, just because I'm not really a fan of his drafting style. I'm not really a fan of the guys that he selects. He gets a lot of guys, developmental guys, not really guys that are really to play right away. He gets a lot of those type of players that really fit schemes. But I would not lose sleep if the Giants fired Joe Schoen, the GM, but I would be really mad if they got rid of Brian Daboll after next year without letting him have his own quarterback. I think this would be the year to really. I think the quarterback class is better than people thought that it was going to be. At the end of this draft, this 2025 quarterback class, I don't think is as bad as a lot of people said it was going to be. I think we're going to see some guys separate themselves from the rest. I really, Cam Ward, man. I hope Cam Ward stays consistent throughout this entire year, so he can be a top quarterback prospect. Maybe he'll be a guy the Giants target. But I see the jersey swaps already. I'm hoping
I'm hoping the Giants timelines are full of jersey swaps after we play this weekend. I've seen Carson Beck swap. I've seen Cam Ward. I've seen my boy Quintavious Ewers down in Texas. Right?
Big Q, baby. Big Q.
ski mask Quinn.
Yeah.
The Giants, man. Unfortunately, this is a not for long league, and coaches don't get long leashes, and New York is a wicked ass market, but we're going to see how that plays out. You got to protect him so he can have a chance. Your offensive line is the only line in the league that gave up more sacks than us, because we were the sack masters last year for a combination of the personnel, EB and Sam Howell. We gave up 1,000 sacks, but y'all gave up 2,000 sacks last year. Evan Neal.
We were going for the record. We were
both fighting for the record. I'm telling you, this matchup is ass versus ass, man. Evan Neal is in a break it or now or never season in New York. What the hell has went wrong with him? Y'all selected him with a top 5 pick. What the fuck has gone wrong with Evan Neal since Alabama?
I think, first of all, it really started off with coaching. I mean, everybody pointed it out. I mean, I am not going to pretend I know everything about the offensive line and technique and things like that, but there have been multiple, offensive line guys out there on Twitter breaking down Evan Neal film and talking about how, this is just not the way that you should develop Evan Neal. He's not used to playing like that as far as his pass sets go and when to punch and things like that. It all started with, who is the Bobby Johnson? Your offensive line coach.
Yep, my offensive line coach.
Bobby Johnson. he came in the same year Evan Neal came in, and he was the guy that everybody blamed. And everybody that knows anything about offensive line says that Bobby Johnson is responsible for Evan Neal and how he wasn't able to develop. And I think it's just over time, it just became Evan Neal. Evan Neal's the player. I really think he was changed. And I really think when it comes to New York, man, when a player doesn't hit the ground running, it goes downhill real quick. The spiral goes down here real quick. I believe we've seen that with Daniel Jones. I don't think Daniel Jones is nearly the player that he got drafted to be. I don't think he's ever been a 6th overall pick worthy player, but I really do think the constant scrutiny and pressure really made him worse. We saw the same thing happen with Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram had a huge problem. He said it on a podcast after he left and he went to Jacksonville Jaguars. He said, I was in my own head all the time. Like, I was always worried about dropping the ball and that's what happened. He sucked for us, and he goes to Jacksonville, and he's amazing now. He's amazing. We see the same thing with Kenny Golladay when he came over here.
Oh my God, that was a big nothing burger.
Yeah, he came over here and he started dropping the ball, didn't hit the ground running. The New York media tore him up, and he was never the same again. So I really think we're seeing the same thing with Evan Neal, where I think he's in his own head. He can't get right. Now he's dealing with injuries. Now he can't get right with the injuries. And now the 7th overall pick is on the bench, and he is a backup. Yes. He is a swing tackle and a backup guard. I mean, that's where he's at right now. So it sucks. And I'm happy that we have Jermaine Illuminor. I think he's a godsend for us compared to how much we paid. I think we paid him like $7 million a year. He looks fantastic. He's a breath of fresh air at right tackle, because what the shit we had to deal with Evan Neal at right tackle for the past 2 years, I am anybody could have been back there and I would have been okay. So, Evan Neal, it sucks. It really does. 7th overall pick. We really thought we had 2 bookend tackles there with Andrew Thomas and Neal, and it just didn't work out, man.
If coaching is the main proponent, like my guy Kev said a second ago, why is Andrew Thomas so much significantly better? Or is Evan Neal out of position? Would he be a better guard, or has he been asked for both spots for you guys?
As far as we know, we haven't seen Evan Neal at guard, but the coaching staff wanted to work him at guard. I don't know if it's so far in practice he has been working at guard. I don't know where he's at with that. But as far as Andrew Thomas goes, Thomas was already great when he got into the NFL. It was just a matter of developing him. And I think he had a better start. And actually, Andrew Thomas' rookie year was not great, but he was dealing with injuries. He still was out there playing, and it was not great. And a lot of people use that excuse when Evan Neal's rookie year was bad and say, oh, look at Andrew Thomas. But obviously, both trajectories branched off a little bit. But as far as Andrew Thomas goes, yeah, I think it was just his injuries, and then he developed and he was a star. But remember, he was there before Bobby Johnson got there, so he was already had a chance to develop and play before Bobby Johnson got there. So he was already set. He was good. He was the vet. And Evan Neal, that was like the only coach he knew. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
Week 1 over here, I can say our offensive line, they didn't look awful. The Tampa Bay was throwing the whole kitchen sink at us blitz-wise. Jaden was sacked a couple times, but we didn't turn the ball over. He put it on the ground a couple times, but we recovered every fumble. We didn't turn the ball over one time despite constant, incessant pressure from all over the place. So maybe Bobby Johnson is getting back to his Buffalo roots a little bit. We shall see. I think we're a little bit improved on the offensive line side of the ball. But let's move over to your defense. A unit you are proud to talk about. Talk to me about your defensive front. Y'all got some new additions you added to that room, and we know Kayvon Thibodeau shows up. Just like Daniel Jones, he's going to get his money off of Washington. He shows up first. Charles Leno not here no more for him to abuse, but talk to me about your defensive front.
Yeah, I like that you said that because we were just talking about that on Twitter. It's like Kayvon Thibodeau is literally the Daniel Jones of the defense when it comes. Like, he doesn't show up a lot of the time, but against Washington, he always does. So, as far as the defense goes, I was disappointed. I'll be honest with you. I was disappointed with what they put out there. I know that Minnesota has a decent offensive line, especially at the tackle position. They're got Brian O'Neal at right tackle, and the left tackle they have Christian Darrisaw, who is right up there with one of the best tackles in the NFL. He should have been a Giant. I mean, oh my God, I don't even want to talk about that draft, Kadarius Toney. Oh my God, I don't even want to talk about that draft.
We took Jamin Davis over there. So
oh man, yeah, we're both shaking our head on that one. But the Eagles and Cowboys ate on that draft. So, yeah, I was very, very disappointed in how we performed there. Kayvon put up a literal donuts across the board as far as the stat sheet goes. Like he could add a 12 count platter donut, donuts from Dunkin' Donuts there from him. No tackles, no sacks, no pressures, nothing from Kayvon Thibodeaux. He was absolutely just useless there. Brian Burns, I thought was going to look a lot better. I don't even know what was going on with Brian Burns. He was stopped multiple times. He was never great against the run, but he was especially not great against the run, filling in the gaps and setting the edge and things like that. He was constantly allowing, opening up the edge and letting these running backs get outside the numbers. So that's not great to see. And we couldn't force much of any pressure. Sam Darnold was cool, calm, and collected back there. And the only guy that really did anything was Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence remains an absolute problem, man. That is, I've already said this multiple times. I think Dexter Lawrence is the best pass rushing nose tackle of all time. I haven't seen any other nose tackle as a pass rusher nose tackle. I haven't seen anybody do what Dexter Lawrence does at 340 pounds. He had the only sack in the game, and he had the most pressures. He was constantly putting pressure from the interior of the pocket. But, Dexter Lawrence can't do it all himself. And so nobody else was giving him any help. And, you pay $30 million a year to Brian Burns. What are you doing? Kayvon Thibodeaux is another top 5 pick. What are you doing? And yeah, I was very disappointed with the front seven. Very disappointed.
Dexter Lawrence is what our fans see when they see Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne. Like, I think they're capable of being that. And we've seen them flash it in contract years, but it hasn't been something consistent. Kayvon Thibodeaux, in personality, in style, he gives off hella Chase Young. And in your case, you don't want that. I promise you, you do not want that.
No, I don't want it.
All you got to do is let him get injured one time. He may be done for good, because Chase Young, fans loved him. The hometown aura, the Chase Young Bowl we had against y'all, we wanted to see him be great. Came out one defensive rookie of the year, but his production only came in spurts. He'll have a good game and he will be donuts across the board for weeks in a row. And Thibodeaux always goes crazy against us. Charles Leno hated Kayvon. He literally sent that man to the Pro Bowl himself. So Brian Burns, y'all made a big trade in the offseason. I know y'all are expecting a lot more from him. So his activity wasn't where you needed it to be in the first. Y'all gave him a big deal on top of trading for him. You said his activity wasn't what you wanted to be in week one?
Yeah, it was just it was disappointing. Of course, you're going to see a couple of flashes. He has that crazy spin move because of how athletic he is, and it looks flashy, looks cool. But, throughout the entire game, him and Kayvon just didn't do anything on the edge. I mean, it was just like they were being packed up real quick. I mean, Darrisaw is great. And that's not an excuse. I saw a lot of people talking about how, those are 2 really good tackles, but yeah, they're supposed to have some wins against those really good tackles. I mean, you're paying this guy almost $30 million a year. You're expecting him to have some wins even against the best tackles in the NFL. And Kayvon, the same, coming off an 11.5 sack year last year. So you have to expect more from those 2 guys, and Brian Burns, especially being a veteran and being paid all that money. So yeah, very disappointing from him.
And what was that contract again that y'all gave for anybody that might not know?
Yeah, I believe it was 5 years, $150 million with adding all the incentives in. I think it comes out to 27 a year, but with all the incentives, it'll be 30 a year.
If you have a child that wants to play football, if they don't play quarterback, make sure they're a pass rusher or receiver, because That's where the money, they're creeping up on quarterback money. Let's move to the next level of your defense. We got two backs that are the whole offense, or at least they were in week one. Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler. I know about Okereke. Talk to me about your linebacker room. What's your confidence level in them?
Bobby Okereke is great. I mean, there's only so much that Bobby Okereke can do, especially in that last game. I don't really think he did much to impact the game, but I think he was still fine there. I have utmost confidence in Bobby Okereke. The second inside linebacker spot, though, is still a question mark. We started our rookie Darius Musow, our 6th-round rookie, last week, and he was okay. He wasn't great, but you saw that he was still a rookie. He wasn't fitting in the gaps right. He didn't know his assignment. It looked like he was a little lost out there. He had an interception. It was a pop-up ball from Sam Darnold, intercepted it.
You take him however you can take him.
You take him, absolutely. So, there's that. Micah McFadden, who is my guy. I love Micah McFadden, but he's been hurt. We had another inside linebacker. He's on the IR. So as far as the inside linebackers go, it is a little bit, hurt right now. So we don't really know what we're getting besides of Bobby Okereke. I have really a lot of confidence in Okereke. It's just really hard to gauge how good the next linebacker is going to be against a team like Washington. And Darius Musow was okay against Minnesota, but we'll see what he provides next week if Micah McFadden isn't ready to go.
I know Kevin O'Connell can scheme up and call plays with the best of them. Trust me, he comes from here. He's one of the 1,000 coordinators we let get away from here.
Oh, yeah. You had a lot of them.
Oh, my God.
Shanahan, McVay. I mean, it just keeps going.
Oh, my God. Shanahan, McVay, McDaniels, Bobby Slowick is a great offensive coordinator for Houston, Texas. Pretty much every offensive coordinating mastermind in the league came out of Washington. We're the pipeline for young offensive minds that we could not promote from within here. But how is Sam Darnold finding so much success? Because I know it's Kevin O'Connell, but it's still Sam Darnold, bro. Sam Darnold is on like his 3rd career in the NFL right now, and his first 2 were busts. I know he has Justin Jefferson. I know he has Jordan Addison. How was he able to find so much success versus your defense?
It's crazy because Justin Jefferson didn't even do much of any, Justin Jefferson, as far as the stat sheet goes, was great, but it happened in bursts. It took a while for us to even see Justin Jefferson. It's not like he was covered or anything. He just wasn't targeted. They didn't need him because Sam Darnold threw 12 straight passes and completed 12 straight passes, and also set a personal record for himself. So go figure. Sam Darnold, his success, I don't even think it was that crazy. It was just him being cool, calm, and collected in the pocket. Shane Bowen's defense, our new defensive coordinator, he rushes 4 a lot. He does not like to blitz. He's one of the most conservative defensive coordinators in the NFL, as far as going back to his time in Tennessee, where he'll just send 4 guys out there, which on paper, how you think about it, you have Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon, Brian Burns, and then whoever they want to put there at defensive tackle, Nacho. You put those 4 guys out there, and with Shane Bowen's system, you're sitting there like, okay, those are a good 4. I'll just rush those all game. It was not working. It was not productive. They have to blitz a lot more, and they showed that. This young secondary got absolutely destroyed. Deonte Banks had some good reps against Justin Jefferson, but he is Justin Jefferson. He is going to beat you more often than not, and he definitely did. That first reception from Justin Jefferson was a beautiful corner route where he faked the inside, stepped right out. I mean, he blew right past Deonte Banks for an easy pickup, and then that touchdown where it was one-on-one on Deonte Banks and Justin Jefferson, and he lost that on tight coverage. So that kind of spelled the rest of the game there. But yeah, Sam Darnold had all day to throw. He was not pressured much of anything at all. So that's why Sam Darnold was it wasn't schemes. They ran a couple rollouts and got out of the pocket a little bit, but it wasn't anything too crazy. It was just the Giants didn't have a real game plan, or at least the execution to really pressure and rattle Sam Darnold that made him look like the ginger Patrick Mahomes, man. So
oh man, I know what that feels like. We made Baker look like Patrick Mahomes as well. Y'all are getting a new defensive coordinator ready to go. My quarterback ran for about 90 yards and 2 touchdowns on Sunday. He only threw for 184 yards, but it was 17 of 24. He left some stuff out on the field, and there were some rookie mistakes, but he still looked better, significantly better than not only the rookies, but a lot of quarterbacks did on Sunday. What is the plan? Who are you putting to spy Jaden Daniels? Because if he finds a crease, he's hitting it and he's gone.
Yeah, what I would say, and I was thinking about this because I'm actually doing a stream on Friday, and I do this like know your opponent stream. So I'll go, I'll watch the film for our next opponent and kind of see what's the best way to beat that team. And I'm very interested to watch it. But one of the biggest things that I've been, thinking about as far as facing Washington and facing a rookie quarterback at that is that we have to change the game plan. We got to blitz more. We have to rattle Jaden Daniels' second game in the NFL. We cannot let him get a good get good footing in his second week in the NFL and get his first win. So we have to blitz a lot more. As far as spying the quarterback goes, it's probably going to have to be Bobby Okereke. He's probably the only guy on that front seven who is going to be active moving around. So that's who I envision being that spy. But as far as that goes, we just have to contain him. We got to be able to keep him in the pocket. I believe it was one of your coaches. I don't know if it was Dan Quinn that said that they still want him to be a passer first. They still want him to be a passer first. And listen, I want that. Okay. I don't want him getting out the pocket, because if we have to not only worry about him throwing the ball and we have to worry about him constantly getting out the pocket, not setting the edge, it's going to be a long game for the Giants, and they're going to get spanked by a rookie quarterback. I don't want that to happen. I think the game plan not even is just to spy him. We have to give a lot of nickel blitzes, safety blitzes, stuff to get around the edge, to force him to stay in the pocket and not get out of there, and force him to try to throw against the blitz. That's really what we have to do to game plan against Jaden Daniels, because when he gets out there, and listen, I was a huge fan of Jaden Daniels. I love the kid. I really wanted the Giants to get a chance to grab him. I know what his strengths are, man. When you get that guy outside the tackle box, he is dangerous. He is going he's going to break a lot of ankles. He's very slim. He's going to slip off the tackles. We've seen him do a little bit of that against Tampa Bay. And they still sent pressure at him. They still sent a lot of pressure at him. He still ran for 88 yards, which I think breaks a rookie record for the most yards a quarterback has ran for in his debut. So that says a lot. That speaks volume. So the Giants have a big task against them, and they're definitely going to have to change from what they usually want to do against Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, and as we exhaled and we got all our feelings out on Sunday, I've been trying to tell people, he actually played pretty fine for his first game. Like
I thought he was okay.
He left some shit on the field. The pressure made him gun shy. He didn't take a couple of chances. He missed a deep ball on the first play of the second half. It would have changed the game. First play of the second half, Cliff Kingsbury dials up a go route to Terry McLaurin, and he caught Jamel Dean standing flat-footed. Terry would have been a 70-yard touchdown. Jaden put it 2 yards in front of him. Put it 2 yards in front of him. He missed Terry on a deep dig. He missed Diami on an out route, but quarterbacks miss passes every week. This is his first game of his career, and you've already seen we had nothing going offensively. So the second half plan pretty much was, fuck it. If you don't see it, run.
Run.
And that shit was moving us up and down the field. And there was one play, when you go to watch film versus us, I believe it's like 3rd and 18. We're in field goal position-ish. So we're like teetering among field goal position around the 40. We run a screen pass throwback. So a screen to rookie Luke McCaffrey, and McCaffrey was supposed to throw it cross field back to Jaden.
Seen that. He pumped it. It.
That's a hard throw. I know fans are hard of him. I know he used to be a quarterback before he switched to receiver, Luke McCaffrey. That is across the whole field. But If he throws that shit to Jaden, there's one Bucks defender and 6 blockers. He's taking that shit to the crib, blind, moonwalking backwards. So and while we were hard on Cliffy in his first game in DC, he definitely dialed some shit up that we were not able to execute. But other than Jaden, our wide receiving core, like if you look at the stats from Sunday, you're going to look twice and say, what the fuck? Like our leading receiver, take out the running backs, Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson, take out Zach Ertz, was Luke McCaffrey for 3 catches, 18 yards. That was our leading wide receiver. De'Ami Brown just made a full-length 1-hour documentary of his offseason and had 0 catches on Sunday.
Is that real? An hour?
Oh, I'm on, guys. 59 minutes with good production, camera. He shelled out some money for it. 0 catches, 0 yards.
He's trying to get the crowd hyped. He's trying to hype himself up.
Contract year for De'Ami. But let's get to it, though, man. We've talked a lot of shit this offseason. We make it fun on this round table because we know what Dallas and Philly do over there. Nothing really matters to them till January. We're trying to see who the hell we are this year. How are you feeling about this Sunday's game? I want you to give me if you don't want to put out the score yet because you're waiting to do it on your channel, sure. But let me know, do you think the Giants come out victorious Sunday, or do you think the woes of Daniel Jones continue and Washington breaks the curse?
Man, I've struggled with it. I tell you what, the first thing I thought about when the clocks hit 0 against Minnesota was, damn, we're going to get smoked against Washington. I mean, this was we were supposed to get this win against the Vikings, and then taking that W, feeling good. We were supposed to get this win against the Washington Commanders, and then we'll worry about the rest of the season later. Start 2-0 and worry about the rest of the season later. And now I am not confident in that whatsoever. I said it on my stream after the game finished. I said, you know what? It's 0-17 until they win a game, baby. It's just 0-17 until they win a game. I don't see them winning a game. But then again, it's Washington. It's Washington. I don't know what it is. The Giants can be the worst team in the NFL, and somehow they look like gods against you guys. I don't know what it is. On this side, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't give you a game plan. I couldn't give you a cheat sheet, nothing like that. So I don't know. I do think the Giants do have a chance because everything that we talked about on the round table, I still believe. I still think that we can get our footing back against Washington and try to salvage whatever we can in this season. But I'm not sitting here just circling a W, when it comes to Washington. I'm not sitting here just circling it as a win. I think this is definitely a good chance for Jaden Daniels to start to get it going in the NFL. This is a defense that really is starting a new scheme and doesn't blitz a lot. If they continue not to blitz and they allow that young secondary to be left out there for 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds, Jaden Daniels he's going to punish you. He's going to punish you. He's not only a great runner, but he can throw the ball as well. So I'm fearful. I am fearful. As far as the score goes, man, I have no problem saying it. I don't know, because I don't even know how many points we're going to put up. I don't know how many points either of our teams are going to put up. I don't know if it's going to be a shootout or a complete absolute stinker. So I don't know. I want to say it'll be somewhat low scoring. I still think we can pull out the win there, because I honestly, I think the wild card here is Brian Daboll. I just think he'll just scheme something up to get us a win. But I think that Daniel Jones would get just do enough to get us there and, kind of channel his energy against Washington as he usually does. And I think Malik Nabers will be a factor because your secondary, just like mine, not great, not great. And so, I'm hoping that Malik Nabers can get open early and often. And if he is double covered, triple covered, rolling coverage towards him, I would hope that guys like Darius Slayton and Jalen Hyatt can, on the back end, can work that secondary as well. So, And let's see. I'm gonna say the Giants win just to fight for my pride, just to fight for my pride. I'm gonna do it. I can't come on this channel and just give it to you guys and say Washington is gonna take the W. I gotta talk my shit too. I gotta have some pride in me. So I'm gonna say the Giants squeak out a win, and this is not gonna be a blowout. I don't care what the Giants' track record is against the Washington Commanders. I don't care how good the record is with Daniel Jones versus the Commanders. This is going to be the toughest Giants-Commanders matchup we've had. I think this is going to be a really close game. I can really see this being like a 17-16 type game where it comes down to the last second and we're biting our nails 4 seconds left with a field goal. I can definitely see that type of game happening. I want to say the Giants win something crazy like a 17-16 type game.
And I'm going 20-19 Washington. This is going to be
at 1 point. Yeah.
NFC East shit you've ever seen it.
You would think it's a Super Bowl, but it's farthest from that. Yeah.
Oh my God. So 20-19. I got 19. So that's 1 touchdown and 4 field goals for the Giants, and 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals for the Commanders. Washington 20-19. They squeak them out. And there's not going to be none of that Daniel Jones going crazy shit here. Something else is going to have to give. Maybe Nabers takes a screen 70 yards. Maybe he runs a slant and they got little body ass Forbes on him. But we cannot lose this game. We're breaking out our gold pants. It's the first time we wore gold pants since we changed the name to Commanders. We're bringing back the retro look. This is Jaden Daniels' first fucking game in that stadium. Northwest Stadium. The first time we're playing a game in Northwest Stadium. Adam Peters, Dan Quinn. It is everybody's first game. We are not getting that shit spoiled by the fucking Giants, especially the way that y'all look right now. If they lose to Daniel Jones and the New York Giants this week, this fan base is going to crash out. And it's going to be a nasty crash out. They're going to start calling Jaden Daniels a bust, a running back.
Man.
It's going to be, they already started it on Sunday and he didn't even play a bad game. Like
I feel bad. I feel bad because look at Caleb Williams. I mean, the man threw for 93 yards. I mean, okay. And he has definitely a better supporting cast than any of our quarterbacks have right now. You know what I'm saying? So man, it's gonna happen. It happens with all fan bases. You know, your player doesn't, your top rookie doesn't hit the ground running. He's automatically a bust if he doesn't start off hot. So, you know, I understand it for sure from my side.
I need the dub. Something has to give. Daboll is 3-0-1 versus the Commanders. Dan Quinn is like 4-0 in his last 4 games against them, but that was in Dallas. But we also know in Dallas, he took a 31st ranked secondary to a top 3 to 5 secondary.
That's insane. Yeah.
He's going to need some time here. But if they went back to the drawing board, watched the film, collected their first 60 minutes of data on how we played a much better team, we play the Giants week to a divisional match much closer to our tax bracket of football team and competitor right now. If we go out there and stink it up at home versus the home crowd and let Daniel Jones continue to get his shit off, it's going to start looking real bad. And you think New York media is bad? DC media will get a quarterback and a head coach the fuck out of town in no time. So I can't have it. For the sake of my sanity in this channel, I cannot. I'm going to be going live for the whole game Sunday. I cannot be on stream with 1,000-something people in the chat watching us lose to the Giants. It's going to be about a bunch of infighting, bunch of crashing out. Give me 2019 Commanders. Jaden Daniels, 225 passing yards, 50 yards on the ground, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown. He gets both of our touchdowns on Sunday. Game-winning field goal for our 5th kicker of the season. We've had 5. We've signed 5 kickers.
Cade York, man. Oh my God. I was watching that on Red Zone, and I was watching Cade York attempt that 47-yarder, and I was like, oh my God, he's gonna miss it, and he missed it. I was like, oh God, he was with the Giants last year.
Sure was.
He was a short stint. He made the team, but never was used as a kicker because he was a backup kicker. So we never even used him. But that's Cade York for you. But good luck with your kicker situation.
We signed Brandon McManus, had a weird ass case, so we pulled out of there. We bring a UFL kicker, Ramses Ahmed. We brought in Riley Patterson after he was cut. We made him compete. Ahmed was winning the competition, but we've released him with no experience and kept Riley Patterson, who turned out to also stink. So we traded a conditional 7 for Cade York. We now kept that conditional 7 because after a week 1 where he missed 2 field goals and did a kickoff bounds, we are on our 5th kicker. We now have signed Austin Siebert, the backup kicker for the New York Jets, 5th round pick from 2019. Only in DC do you see 5 kickers in one fucking season, and we're only 2 weeks into it in September. Who is your X factor for the New York Giants in this football game?
Ooh, that's a good one. X factor. It would have to be Daniel Jones. It would have to be, because if he puts up another piss poor performance, the Giants have no chance at all. Like everything really weighs on him in this game. He needs to go out there and perform and become Clark Kent against Washington, as he usually does. He has to do it, because if not, yeah, this is going to be a loss immediately. And I want to say Malik Nabers, but even if Malik Nabers, it cuts up the nastiest routes, I mean, somebody's got to throw him the ball. It has to be Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is the X factor. If he is not good, we lose.
What kind of performance would it take from Daniel Jones for Brian Daboll to say fuck it and pull the plug on him?
This is something that we've been wrestling with. It's like, I want Daniel Jones to be replaced at the end of the season. I think the only way to do that, because this not the fan base, the front office, the Giants organization, they love Daniel Jones. Like, they love him. They treat this man like Eli, and he has done nothing like Eli besides talk like him. That's it. Besides give the Eli looks. That's all he does. They love him. And they keep making excuses for him. We saw it in Hard Knocks. Patrick Mahomes couldn't run behind that line. We haven't seen much of Daniel Jones to really get a full look at him. And look what he did in 2022. I know there's an injury clause. If Daniel Jones gets hurt, we have to pay him a lot of money. I don't care. I'll do whatever it takes. I want him out there for every snap this season, because I don't want any more excuses, any more reason for them to say we need another year with Daniel Jones to see how he performs with this guy and this offensive line and these weapons. I want him out there the entire time. So although I don't really care if they bench him, but it wouldn't do the Giants any favors, because it's not like Drew Lock or Tommy DeVito is the future. Just let Daniel Jones play. Let him screw it up for himself. Don't let the fans, the media, try to influence the front office, because that's not going to happen. Let Daniel Jones prove why Daniel Jones is not the guy. So I want him out there the entire time.
Lean into that shit and let him play you right into another quarterback. Let him play you into your next quarterback. It's going to look bad on the coach's end, because your 6th-year quarterback is still making rookie mistakes in his 6th season, but you kind of have to lean into it at that point. I'm hoping Washington is the team to do it, because we fucking 0-1. I've seen Daniel Jones run 60-yard run. I remember the time we beat y'all. Darius Slayton dropped a wide open touchdown in that game. We missed the original game-winning kick.
Lawrence
jumped off sides on the field goal. We got a second opportunity at it, and Daniel Jones had like a 60-yard rushing touchdown called back. So we had all the football gods working on our side. The one time we did beat Daniel Jones when he was there, I got to be the stop to it. Daniel Jones has the processing power of an abacus. I appreciate you, Gunner. That is hilarious. But we talked about X factors. We talked about the decisions, man. Big game coming up, because you hate to say this in week 2. This is a must-win game for both of these teams, right?
Week 1 was a must-win for the Giants, and they couldn't put it off.
I don't know. Our schedule doesn't get easier from here. I know we got tough. We got freaking the Bengals on Monday night the next week, even though the Cincinnati in September, they're frauds. We got the Cardinals in Arizona, who don't look chump. Then we got the Browns and the Ravens. So we better win this game, because it could get ugly real fast. Somebody said Arch Manning to New York. The Mannings would definitely try to pull that off.
I think they would too.
But man, after one game into the season, has your outlook or anything changed for the rest of the season?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I went from, I believe on NFC's roundtable, I predicted 7-10. Yeah, it's not looking hot. It's definitely the outlook was let's get as much wins as we can to show that this is a team that just needs more pieces. This is a team that needs more development. Even though we're in the third year of this rebuild, quote unquote, we just need to get a quarterback in here. But I think the team is a lot worse than we thought it was, even though we had some star players on there. So, yeah, definitely, I'm definitely a lot more down on the team than I was going into it.
No, yeah, I know exactly what you mean, man. But I appreciate you for pulling up on my channel. We're going to be on Roundtable Sports doing our NFC East Roundtable tomorrow. They're probably going to try to get us fired up. We're both in wait and see mode right
We're
now.
Doing our own thing, and Dallas and Philly are doing their own thing outside.
Yeah, man, it's hilarious. This game is going to tell us all that we need to know. Let folks know where they can find you. I know I like to say everybody that comes on the channel, everyone we collaborate with is family. Let folks know where they can find you on socials and on YouTube.
Yes, sir. Yeah, anybody is welcome on the channel, Commanders fans. So don't be discouraged just because you're a Commanders fan. I welcome everybody on the channel. Kid Blue RB27 on YouTube and Twitter as well. So if you guys want to come in and troll me, do it. We love it over there. So big things going on over there. Not the Giants, but on the channel.
Oh yeah, and I'm hoping it's even worse this weekend. I'm hoping we get this W. Thank you for chopping it up with me, my boy. We'll be talking this weekend.
Yes, sir. See you tomorrow, man.
All right, man. All right, y'all. Let's talk amongst the family. Y'all know what time it is. When we let the guests out of the building and we speak amongst each other, don't start that political shit in the chat, because if there's a one thing, I'd rather you disrespect somebody than to start talking politics on my stream. We don't do politics on this side. So I'm just putting out a warning. The next time I see it, deuces. But let's talk about this game, y'all. I'm about to pull up this week's picks from the NFL panel. I'm about to pull up the line. We're about to talk about it a little bit. But yeah, we're not doing politics over this motherfucker. This must be a newbie, because we don't do that shit. This is how the NFL Network panel feels. All but two of them picked Washington. Even Adam Rank, notorious hater of all things Washington. Maybe he let that hate go now that Dan Snyder does not own this football team. But I don't know how he keeps beating us either, man. I don't know how we do that shit, but we're not doing that, man. Yeah, you're good. Get your shit off, man. But no politics. But let's talk about it. Colleen Wolf, hey, shout out, Bay. Shout out Colleen Wolf. She picked us to win. MJD picked us to win. Adam Rank picked us 21-2. I'm wondering if that's a typo, or does he feel so little about Daniel Jones that he picked the Giants to score 2 points versus us. I got Marcus Grant and Gordon, whoever that is. They got the Giants winning, but everybody, majority of people have us winning. I'm looking at the line via BetUS, via the sponsor. It almost looks like a push. What started at 3.5, the spread is now down to 1.5. So this is almost a pick 'em, a push, meaning this shit could go either way. They're not confident that either of these teams are going to do anything special on Sunday. How are we feeling out there? We got the guest out of the room. Let's speak amongst the family now. I think however the fuck you get it done, I got us 20-19. You cannot lose to this football team. I understand. I had Fred Smoot on the channel today. Shout out to former Redskin Fred Smoot. And I understand his messaging that we all got to give it time and shit. But this is an opponent on your level. This is not a better football team than you. This is a team you're punching within your tax bracket now. You need to beat these motherfuckers. Did y'all see Daniel Jones play football last week? Sheldon, I'm praying we see Johnny Newton, because he looked so fucking explosive in that workout before the game, which Lake Lewis mentioned when he was on my show. By the way, Lake Lewis, every Tuesday or Wednesday, there's going to be a Lake Lewis conversation on the channel. Need to see Johnny Newton. Need to see Noah Brown this week. Need to see Brandon Coleman starting this week for the Washington Commanders. We're pulling out the gold pants for the first time since going to the Commanders moniker. Excited to see that. We're at home. First time playing at home in a regular season game since the stadium went to Northwest Stadium. It's not that I'm walking in with confidence, but we can't lose, man. You can't lose. I know I saw our defense last week. But did you see the Giants last week? The Giants played so bad they got eradicated from NFL red zone. They turned their game off red zone and showed the Cardinals Buffalo Bills game twice. Man, I need us to win this game. We need it badly. Yes, Malik Nabers is a dog. I am scratching my head. Smoot couldn't even give me a full out answer or plan for what we're going to do with Malik Nabers, which I would have liked to know coming from a professional who caught 18 interceptions as a Washington Redskin. But I need us to find a way to turn over the football. Daniel Jones is handing out interceptions like Oprah hands out cars. You get one, you get one, you get one. Why cannot we do the same? Why can we not force him to cough up the football? Why can we not take his legs away? Why can we not find a way to get hands on him like the last defense did? Rio, did you hear DeVito said? He said Washington isn't a rival. Sounds like something Kayvon Thibodeau would say. And Kayvon should say that because he has absolutely beat the shit out of Charles Leno in every matchup. All his career sack production, 90% of that shit came versus Washington. He's been like Daniel Jones. He's been kind of ass versus the rest of the league, but versus Washington, he's got all his stats. He's got all his numbers. What's going on, Davoli? I know Dallas fan rapping as always. I appreciate you for pulling up. Dallas fans cooling at the top, them in Philly. Per usual, us and the Giants at the bottom, like everyone anticipated. Well, it's our first time to tango this season. Giants at Washington, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. I'll be going live all day on Saturday. I'll be starting my watch party stream at about 12, so we can call it a pregame. 12 noon, an hour before kickoff, I'll be on the live. I will not be going to this game. I'll be going live from 12 to about 4:30, 4:45, and we'll be doing the post-game show at 5 o'clock afterwards. So just like we did it last week, we're doing it again on the channel. Make sure you pull up for the watch party stream. Give me some score predictions in the chat. What are your score predictions for Sunday? Score predictions, stat predictions. I need a little bit of it. Something's got to give. Forbes with the pick 6 this week. My lips to God ears. Sounds like a chef's kiss to me. Prayer circle for it, because just like Smoot said, so badly does anybody, if anybody on the team so badly needed to make a play, it's Emmanuel Forbes. Because maybe like when a good shooter finally sees that ball go through the net, maybe in pick 6, not just the interception, a pick 6. Remember, he led FBSF like history in pick 6s while he was at Mississippi State. Maybe he needs to catch a pick and take that bitch to the crib so he can finally get his fucking act together, get his head right, start walking with some swagger and some confidence again, and not moping and pouting around the fucking field and pretending like he didn't just see what he just did to play before. I need it. Giants will beat us 34-17. Oh, boo, boo, boo that shit. I see Jared in here talking about 30-17 or 30-14 or some shit. Fuck that. We can't go into a fucking Giants game thinking like that. We can't. I refuse to do it. Even if we lose, I cannot go into this game feeling like we're losing this game, because what the fuck else do we got to watch or root for this year if we can't go into Giants week saying we're going to end that shit before? Stink Fartendale, your man Wink. And no more Wink there. If you want to accept defeat, go right ahead, but I'll take credit when y'all win 27-10. Yes, sir, my man. Let's go. Sugar Daddy Williams, my guy. He reps Dallas, but he always keeps it real. He always comes in and keeps it a buck, keeps it a stack on the channel. I'm not picking us to lose this fucking game. I got Jaden playing well. I got a run game being established with the running backs and not having to rely on Jaden's legs. I think you see who we drafted more, and you see an accurate passer start to pick apart a not aggressive defense. They have a good front, and they're trying to rely on their front four. They send 4 a lot. They don't want to live and die by the blitz when it comes to Washington. So this may be we need to see Jaden pick them apart with his right arm. And for those saying he can't pass the ball, his passing was one of the main reasons why we drafted him. He's an accurate passer. We haven't seen a large sample size of him passing over the middle of the field because it wasn't required in LSU's offense. But this is a guy who can definitely pass the football. Jaden is probably going to win Rookie of the fucking week, despite how Sunday looked for Washington, because who the fuck else are they going to give it to? A receiver that had 47 yards and a touchdown? Another receiver that had 66 yards, no touchdowns, or maybe Marvin Harrison Jr., who had a fucking catch for 4 yards. No, Jaden had 90 rushing yards, 272 total yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's probably winning motherfucking rookie of the week. So say what you want about him. He's leaving week 1 with some hardware on him. We're winning this shit. Talk that shit, Eric. Bring the broomsticks out. I'm standing firm. We are sweeping the Giants. I will come on here and say I was wrong because I always do. I'm not going to run from being wrong. I am no fucking expert. I'm a fan just like the rest of y'all. Talk your shit. Talk your shit. Let's go. Should be 6-0. The offside, since it should have been 6-0, the offside of the field goal. Missed opportunities. That's what I would like to get to. We have to cash in on missed opportunities. Washington, at some point of our lives and finding out who we are as a team, we have to start liking nice things. When a quarterback puts it in harm's way, we need to pick it up. We need to catch it. We need to put the quarterback down. We need to not get called for stupid penalties. We need to not let refs call phantom replays of penalties that happen. We need to control the narrative ourselves and leave the game out of the referee's hands. Leave the game out of the other team's hands. We need to make shit happen. Joe Witt Jr., we heard all the press conferences. I'm not saying that's not who you are, but after 1 week, we need to see some more decisiveness. We need to see some more violence. I need to see the violence you were talking about because it looked like a lot of non-violent guys. I watched Baker toss John Allen's big ass off him like he was a 10-year-old. Tossed him right off his body and complete a pass under pressure. And that's our vocal leader. Show me the violence this week. Show me you're capable of turning the ball over. Benjamin St-Juste, the only corner we have on a consistent basis that is anywhere near the football. They could catch the interception. Run it back for a touchdown. Change your narrative. We all think you stink. You're the closest to a solid cornerback we have on this roster on the outside. Michael Davis didn't even play last week, so that should tell you how confident they are in the cornerback room. Benjamin St-Juste, catch that shit. Put that man on the I think he knows the defense. He played the whole game. Put him on the jugs machine for a whole practice. Just sit him in front of the jugs machine for a whole hour straight. Catch the fucking ball, and when you catch it, run with it. Because I've seen Benjamin St-Juste now drop about 3 interceptions that could have changed our fate in his career. I know y'all remember this game. Another blackout game. Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings came down. We had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. Benjamin St-Juste catches a pick 6 to win the game. We would have put that shit on ice. But his grabby ass had a handful of collar and jersey, and that shit came back. That I've seen him drop him on multiple occasions. The pick he dropped on drive number 2 of the Tampa game, that ended up being something that we definitely needed, and it affected the pace of the game. You know what else sucked? First drive of the game. Bucks are moving the ball. No, they're not moving the ball because Washington gets them off the field in 3 plays, 3 and out. Let's get the ball for Jaden Daniels and company. But wait, a fucking penalty. A penalty extends their drive. They take it down the field. They put 3 points on the board. And then what? The momentum, a slippery slope of the most Washington shit you've ever seen takes place over the next 47 minutes or so of football. Washington shit. We get the ball for the first time, and Jaden Daniels on first down throws a screen pass to fucking Narnia. I'm talking the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. He threw that screen pass out of the fucking stadium. And Brian Robinson is briskly jogging and not recovering that shit. Absolute abstract disaster of a first possession. Washington shit. We have to prevent ourselves from doing Washington shit. We need to turn over a new leaf. And part of finding our new identity, we need to undress ourselves of our old identity. We need to stop doing Washington things, and we need to just play fucking football. Disciplined fucking football. Man, I love this stupid ass team, man. I love this team, man. I know y'all remember all that. Danny Dimes is gonna light you up like Carey, man. No, no, no. I refuse to believe it. Ball is life. My ass. Our players aren't wired to attack the ball, and when we get a pick, we don't catch that shit. We're gonna draft and pay those type of players. They're not here now. Okay, I understand it, but I'm just talking about what we got on the roster right now. We can't talk draft yet. We're in week 2 of the 2024 season, but I get exactly where you're coming from, my boy Steven. That was real as hell. But another thing, week 2, wide receivers need to wide receive. Wide receivers need to fucking wide receive. And when they do so, Jaden, I think you're going to have more time to throw this week because I don't think you're going to get as many aggressive blitzes sent your way. The quarterback has to have the confidence to let it go. I believe the game plan last week, it was a training wheels game plan. We're expecting a much better blitz-heavy football team to play us a certain way. Jaden, we don't want you to take many chances, bro. If you don't see it immediately, go. I don't want to see that in week 2. Because I think there was about 3 to 4 plays. I know, Jaden, and I'm not talking about the deep ball. 3 to 4 normal in concept, on schedule throws Jaden could have made that would have at least extended drives temporarily. He missed Terry on, I believe, like a 12-yard dig route where he had a step on the defender. When I say he had a step, that's called NFL open. It's not wide open because you barely ever see guys ass naked unless you're playing against Washington's defense. But he had Terry on a dig. He had Terry on an out route on, I believe, a second down. He had De'Ami Brown flashing to the left on one play. And there was one play where he tucked it and ran where Austin Eckler probably would have picked up 15 or 20 yards if he just dumps it down to him. But I appreciate that he at least makes those plays with his legs and he makes fast decisions. Whether it's always the right decision, I don't want a slow processor. We dealt with a slow processor last year and a lot of years prior. I don't want to do that. Daniel Jones, oh my God. Jaden Daniels makes fast decisions. And you can tell he speeds that clock up in his head, but I think you're going to see a better Jaden Daniels in week 2. My boy said he was on Tone's Protect show last night. I got us winning 23-15. I like it. I like it. How long are we going to wait before we learn to put Eckler and B-Rob in the game at the same time? I think we're going to see a lot more of that. And I think we need to lean more of Austin Eckler than Brian Robinson. That is no disrespect. That is no slight to Brian Robinson. I think the one that needs to get more touches is Austin Eckler. I'm not saying give him 30. I'm not saying bell cow touches, but I think when you divvy up the touches between the two, the more dynamic running back is Austin Eckler. While we're talking about Austin Eckler, why the fuck is Austin Eckler our kick returner? Austin Eckler, my boy Dom sent this to me. He texted me yesterday. He said, yo, why Austin Eckler run back kicks like he's running a halfback dive? Austin Eckler is the most not kick returner I've ever seen. Why do we have one of our main running backs running back kicks? Let's change that. I don't need that. And like my boy Rob said, he's a touchdown machine. He's a touchdown machine. Eckler does still look like Eck. He has a lot in the tank. I want him getting more of the touches of the two running back. Throw it to him, run it to him, get him on the outside, get some blockers ahead of him. Austin Eckler is a dog. Their linebackers are not fast in New York. Run his ass up the seam on a wheel route. Take advantage of linebackers like teams used to do to us. And also, speaking of linebackers, I need our linebackers to look alive this week. I think that Tampa Bay humidity, I think their pace of play, they had Bobby Wagner looking slow as molasses. They had him looking like John Bostic feet on Sunday. Never want to see Bobby Wagner looking like John Bostic ever again. Is Bobby Wagner that? No. Even at this stage of his career, at his big age, he's not that. So I'm willing to look past week 1 and say, week 1 is over. Week 1 is done. We're moving on to week 2. This is a divisional game. It matters. This is a team that's in your bracket of competition. You're not punching below the belt or above the shoulders. They are right in your tier of teams. So We got to show up this week, y'all. We got to show up this week. He wants that smoke. They better give him that rock. Yes, sir. Austin Eckler's with all the shits. He's with all the shits. No aggressive blitzes, but facing a better defensive line. A defensive line has nothing to do with blitzing. I'm talking about blitzing. Blitzing comes from sending extra guy. They're going to send a lot of four-man fronts. Yes, it's a better front on paper. On paper. They didn't do shit last week. They didn't get to Sam Darnold. How delusional is this guy? I love when people hop in the chat and try to be main characters like that. Who the fuck are you? Anyways, back to what I was saying. Washington has to stop doing Washington things. We play the New York Giants this week, and how sick of y'all of losing to this team. We've even had a tie game with this team. A fucking tie. That's even worse than a loss. I know y'all remember that depressing ass game that went to overtime after that beautiful Jahan Dotson touchdown and spin cycle where he took it into the end zone. I'm tired of it, bro. We got to end this shit. Jerzon could change it all. He really could. Jerzon Johnny Newton was supposed to be a top 20 pick in the draft, but apparently these feet issues, the league did not like what they saw. He was supposed to be a top 25 pick in the draft. He fell to us at 36, and we are yet to see him play. Dan Quinn updated us today. He said, we would like to make Jerzon Newton available this week. We would like to make him available this week. I know a lot of people are talking about wanting to trade Jonathan Allen at some point because we can get him off the books in 2025. Jonathan Allen's here right now. And before we have conversations about Jonathan Allen not being here, we got to see what we have in this rookie. I know what I think. I think he could be the most talented guy in that room. But until we see it on a football field, it's all just shits and giggles. It's all assumption. It's all conjecture. So we need to see him actually get out on the football field. We lost to two backup quarterbacks last year. It was disgusting. We lost to Jackie Aprile Jr. from The Sopranos, and we lost to backup extraordinaire Tyrod Taylor. Can't have that going forward in 2024 and beyond. You got to win this game. September is the new preseason. Hell yeah. And you could tell because there's rusty teams all around the board. Everyone, most teams look like ass this week. There were the few like that teams that just look immediately like that, but most teams look really bad. Offenses look like it's taking them a little bit longer to get going. Defensive tackling, nobody's really hit all summer. Terry had 11 catch game versus the midgets in 2020. Yeah, we need that Terry again. We need that Terry again. We need him getting open. We need Jaden seeing him, and we need Cliff to make it a fucking thing and designate a certain amount of time. Or we're going to target Terry 15 times this week. Then do it. Because I see every team in the league. I see receivers that get double teamed, all of that. They find a way to get him the fucking ball. And Terry has to be that guy and make shit happen. And when he does get a completion, get some yards after the catch, break some tackles, bust the fucking game open. Terry has had some days against the New York Giants before. It's time to do it. I didn't want to say it, but he definitely played better than Robinson. Yeah, I came out. I got some hate on Twitter yesterday. You know, some people take football conversation way too personally. They take it to their chest. They get the little vagina in a bunch. I said, it's probably a hard conversation for us to have, but shouldn't Eckler be the lead back here? And oh my God, people, oh my God, these fans are the worst. Oh my God, how dare you? Look, man, I didn't like Brian Robinson. I got the nigga's jersey on right now. I love Brian Robinson. Love the story, like the football player. I think for the type of offense that we're running, Eckler should get more touches. I think Eckler is closer to a Cliff Kingsbury style of running back, but I want us to use them both. Get their ass on the field at the same time and let's make shit happen. Smitty's Corner said, rock the fuck out, Rio. Home team talk only. Blank out the HTTRs because they not like us. They not like us. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hell to them. Burgundy and gold always. Washington has a losing culture. Lifetime fan that now only watches for the laughs. Hey, man. We got to turn that shit around. It's got to happen eventually, right? It's got to happen eventually, right? A broke clock is right twice a day, but I think we're taking the initial steps to get there, but we got to get out of our own way. We can't get there if we keep beating ourselves, if we're undisciplined, if we're committing stupid penalties, if we're not being aggressive. You know how you flip a culture when you're ass and you're trying to look formidable? You got to be aggressive. You got to go for it on fourth down sometimes. You got to go for 2 when you score a touchdown and you're down 16 points. You know, Dan Quinn hired the guy, what's his name, Dave Gardy, to be like new Ken Zampese, which is like clock management, game flow guy. What was he doing? Did he not catch a flight on Sunday? Because it looked like Dan Quinn was out that motherfucker by himself. Maybe he's talking to him in the headset. Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. But I feel like maybe it was just the week one yips, the week one jitters. But I won't say it was Ron bad, but it was definitely, it left a lot to be desired in Dan Quinn's first showing as the coach here. Cincy fans on a ledge. Cincinnati is ass every September, but they always get their life right. But the new thing going around is Joe Burrow cooked? I don't think Joe Burrow's cooked. Is he a little more hurt than they anticipated? Because Joe Burrow did not look like Joe Burrow last week versus the Patriots, but you never know. It's week one. Eckler still looks like he's in top form. I agree. B-Rob is a second half punisher. Oh yeah, I agree. Like you get the defense, you tire them out, you gas them out, and when they don't want to make any more tackles, you put the bruiser in, you put the H2 Hummer in, and you run they ass over. Hell yeah. Get fucked. We hate because it's been 3. You get fucked, nigga. Shut your bitch ass up. No, I'm just kidding. But like, we all struggling here. We all hate it. We all hate the losing. Ain't nobody here okay with losing. I'm sick of it. I ain't never seen this team be good in my life. The way we stop being Washington from being Washington, we got to be aggressive. Hell yeah. But we also can't sit there every week and expect to see ass. Oh, I hate it. We suck. We're not going to do shit. Maybe we shouldn't go into the week saying shit like that. I get fired up too. I'm mad at, we all losers. And losing culture is trying to accept losing culture. I need us to win this weekend. Fuck the Giants. We're beating the Giants this week. We're beating them 20-19. I don't care how it looks. You don't get an extra period. You don't get an extra style point for how you win. Win this fucking game. I don't care how it looks. That's a divisional game. And then we go up to Cincinnati on Monday Night Football, 1-1. We knock that record up and we go in there looking to surprise them because the Cincinnati Bengals are susceptible to get beaten in September. They do it every year. Joe Burrow and them, they don't really care about ball till around that time. Do I think we ever get the name? No, it's not coming back. They even said it's never coming back. With the way the culture and society is nowadays, it's never coming back. They may change it to something, and they may revert the look and a lot of things back to the old thing, but I don't think that name is ever coming back. Honestly, the only name I care that the name that comes back is call us the champions. Call us winners. Call us NFC champions. Call us NFC East champions. And one day, call us Super Bowl champions again. Some of y'all have seen the glory. Y'all have seen the success. Y'all have seen what it looks like for this team to go on a parade. I want to know what that feeling is like. Joe Gibbs, it was a different era of football. My guy Rob articulated it very perfectly in the comments of my Fred Smoot video. Yes, Joe Gibbs started 0-5 as a coach. Belichick started 0-7. They ran into great players. They added great players to the mix. Y'all remember how Marty Schottenheimer started his first season here, and we still ended up getting 8-8. And Dan's first big mistake was letting Martin Schottenheimer leave this organization. And he wanted too much power and authority. And if he would have gave him the power and authority, we would have been a good team for a long time. But it's not time for coulda, shoulda, wouldas. We need to get this thing going this week versus the New York Giants. I got us winning 20-19, 1-point victory. I got the Giants scoring 1 touchdown and 4 field goals. You know how the NFC East divisional games go. They're very weird. They're very wacky. Anything is liable to happen. Am I going to go? What's up, fam? You going to go far with this shit for sure? I appreciate you, CJ. I love this shit. And I just be fucking with y'all. When I snap back and I talk my shit, it's because I like to pop my shit. I like talking this shit just like y'all in the chat. I don't be meaning anything to nobody. I don't got no problem with anybody. And I cuss. I throw insults back, but we're all good. We're all on the same accord, and we all sick of seeing this dumbass team go out and do dumbass shit every year. We all want something different. We all want something new. We want a better feeling. I'm a content creator. I've been doing this shit for 3 years. You know how many game previews I've done for playoff games? Donut. 0. The Jahan Dotson, De'Ami Brown special. None. Not a single game preview for a playoff game. You know what happens when the playoffs start? We're going to have watch parties for other teams. And we're going to sit around like a kid on Christmas looking out the window, watching his neighbors play with their toys like, damn, that could be us. That could be us. But we got to get our act right together if we're ever going to see that. You got to get your act right. You haven't lived long enough, Rio. I remember when we were both dominating the NFL. No, we used to play each other in playoff games. I'm tired of having to look at freaking black and white non-HD NFL films the last time my team was great, man. 13K by October, dog. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We on the way. I believe we're about at 12,700 right now. Y'all hold it down for your boy. I appreciate every single one of y'all that comes out to all, that comes into these streams, that pulls up in the chat, that comments, that drops whatever your feeling is, regardless of if I push back or not, because we are all fans and we are all entitled to fan in our own way. There is no correct way to fan. Just try to back and we got to support this shit. Dan Quinn ain't Ron. We can't treat him like he's Ron. We can't treat Jaden like the 100 motherfuckers we've seen play quarterback for this team over the years. What we have now is what we have. But slow down dropping all these videos. That job like can't keep up. All right, man. I slow it down a little bit, but I'm coming. I'm full-time with it now, so you're going to get at least one video, one stream a day. But I'm going to slow down the next couple of days because y'all definitely got to catch up. Fred Smoot video on the channel. Lake Lewis video on the channel. Justin Pugh video on the channel. Tomorrow, live watch party for Thursday Night Football. If you don't have Amazon Prime, I'll be here doing my play-by-play watch party for the Thursday night game. We got Miami Dolphins hosting the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen went absolutely berserk. Is this the MVP season, Josh Allen, or is he going to revert back to his catch-22? I'm either the best quarterback in the league or a UFL quarterback type shit. We're going to see tomorrow in a divisional matchup. They had a hard-fought game against the Cardinals. They said, don't slow them down. We're going to keep them coming. Keep up with it, man. 3 rings. I ain't seen none of them, but I'm so happy to know that my franchise was once a winner because there are still teams that have an empty cupboard. I just watched the video with Justin. Would be hilarious if we brought him in. It would be so funny because I talked that shit up almost the entire stream. That shit felt like I was giving him a job interview for the Commanders. Do you think Lil Wayne? No. Let me. First of all, I'm a big Kendrick fan and I'm a big Wayne fan. Let me tell y'all something. Anybody who thinks Wayne was snubbed, who was the last motherfucker that performed in the hometown of their Super Bowl? There's never been a thing that, the Super Bowl's in this city. We're going to pick an artist from this city to do the Super Bowl performance. That is not how any of this goes. And Wayne in 2024, love Lil Wayne the rapper. Lil Wayne tours at like the Fillmore and shit. Wayne as a performer in 2024 leaned out and off whatever he's off. I don't want to see that performing at the Super Bowl. Maybe a song. I don't want to see a full set of Lil Wayne. That's no disrespect. It should not have been Lil Wayne. I'm sorry. That nigga performs at the Fillmore in front of 200 people in 2024. I'm sorry. I love Wayne. Wayne's one of my favorite rappers ever, but they're not going to give Wayne the Super Bowl halftime show. No city has ever been connected to the artist performing at halftime. Absolutely not. Dr. Dre and Snoop, though, Dr. Dre and Snoop are coherent performers. Wayne, every other performance, he's slurring words and forgetting his lyrics. I'm not sure y'all have seen Wayne perform recently. I've seen Wayne at the Fillmore in Maryland in front of a crowd of like 500 people, maybe 1,000 people. That was never going to work out. That's almost like giving Kanye the halftime show in 2024, who's liable to stop the show and start saying crazy shit at any time. Say what you want about Kendrick. Kendrick just got off tour in March from the second highest grossing tour in hip hop history. Say what you want about him. Drake is the only rap artist ever that has grossed more on a tour than Kendrick Lamar. That's my favorite rapper. Love Wayne too. That's all I got for tonight. Smash that like button on your way out if you're not subbed up to the channel. Click that subscribe button. Washington's winning this week. I don't care if it's by 1 or 50. I got them 20-19, and I got Jaden Daniels in prime position, hopefully to win his second straight Rookie of the Week, because I think he might win the Rookie of the Week for week 1 because there aren't really too many options to look at. Smash that like button. We had Fred Smoot on the channel this week. We had Justin Pugh on the channel this week. Lake Lewis on the channel this week. We only go up from here. We're closing in on 13,000 subscribers on the channel. Join the channel if you want member badges, if you want extra stickers and emojis to use in the chat. I appreciate all of y'all. Until next time, hail to the Washington Commanders. Keep hailing and keep repping this burgundy and gold, because if we don't do it, who will? Peace.